Next up, at UFC Vegas 67, we have a Punahele Soriano taking on a Roman Kopylov. Punahele, I'm going to say Punahele even though it's Punahele. Soriano's 9-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off the knockout win over Dalcha Lungambula 4 months ago. Roman Kopylov is 9-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. Also, is this the same breakdown for both? No. He's also coming off the knockout win.
Oh, my God.
Just a few months ago.
The teleprompter went out, guys.
No. He's coming off a knockout win just a few months ago as an underdog over Di Chirico. I was just seeing Dalcha's name twice. I'm like, they didn't both just beat Dalcha? Anyway, Punahele, he is a Division III.
Is that a Burt MMA shirt? What is that? Oh, it's Burt Macklin. I was like, what the hell is that? I just saw Burt. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
I bought some high school kids merch. Yeah, I'm all set. Unless it's like, all donations go to whatever therapy that kid needs. Punahele Soriano is a D3 All-American wrestler. Legitimate credentialed wrestler. He's got incredible power in his hands, and he can be a fluid striker. Those are all the good things. The bad things are, although he's a very good wrestler and has actual wrestling credentials, unlike Jakey Boy over here, he has been taken down 13 times in 6 UFC fights. 13 times in 6 UFC
My favorite
fights.
part about that was that you looked over just waiting to see what I was going to do.
I just wanted to see. And he can be a bit first round or bust with the striking, but his power is absolutely incredible. When he offensively wrestles, it is there. We know that. But he can be taken down. I don't think wrestling's going to matter too much in this because he doesn't offensively wrestle as much as we'd like. And he's fighting Roman Kopylov, who's a professional kickboxer, or at least was at one point. He's a low output guy who does pick his shots. He tends to throw one strike at a time, but then he'll settle in. He'll start bobbing, weaving, and start putting together some combinations. In both of his UFC losses, he was taken down with no real answer. But then in his wins, he looks spectacular. He's got incredible power. His striking is fluid. He's a professional kickboxer. And he looked great, especially in that Di Chirico with that late stoppage knockout.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of that guy.
Yes. And he was an underdog in that fight, as he is here. Listen, Punahele has more ways to win this fight if you factor in the D3 wrestling. If it's straight striking versus striking, Roman's going to be the better striker by far. Punahele's going to have more raw power. Then Punahele has the wrestling. He's probably the pick, right? Slight lean towards him to be the pick because he has more ways to win this fight. But if this is a kickboxing match, then Roman blows through him. He's literally a professional kickboxer. Just as if this was a wrestling match, Punahele would blow through Roman. So I'm going to pick Punahele here because he has more ways to win this fight. But Roman is an incredibly live underdog on this card. He's got great power. He's got great striking. And I can't always trust Punahele to go out there and do what we want him to do. That loss to Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen outstruck him. He outstruck him. Punahele was the better wrestler, not jiu-jitsu, but better wrestler and had more power. And he was just pitter-pattered for 3 rounds. And that could happen here again. So Punahele's the pick. Do not bet on him. I'm not betting on him. I think there's better spots to have. What do you think?
No, I mean, that breakdown was pretty much everything I was going to say. The only caveat that you didn't mention was, will Kopylov come in and maybe he wants to wrestle, right? Because he is a Dagestani guy. I know he's not one of those Dagestani wrestlers, but he does train at camps with very heavy wrestling type people. So he has a pretty good takedown defense. But as Angelo mentioned, once he's on the ground, he does struggle there. I think his takedown defense is good enough against Soriano's offensive wrestling. If Soriano was going to offensive wrestle, which, as you mentioned, I don't think this is just like we're trying to get Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, like, if he uses judo, he might win. I don't think that Soriano's going to come in and use wrestling, but he is such a bad defensive wrestler that maybe Kopylov is like, you know what? I know how to wrestle. This guy can't defend a takedown and save his life. Maybe I'll just make my life easier. And I will offensive wrestle this guy because I've seen him getting taken down time and time and time again. So that's kind of the wild card here. We don't know how Kopylov is going to play this. But as you mentioned, if this is a kickboxing match, I don't think Soriano wins that either. So I'm on the Kopylov side here. I think he's the better striker. I think he might even be the better wrestler unless Soriano's able to maybe get him down. But I think Soriano is going to, rely on his power. Hope he can find that shot. If he can, he definitely can knock Kopylov out. But Kopylov is also a very tough dude. That dude's a dog. You've heard DC talk about it. I think in this last fight, DC was like, I saw this dude in the elevator. He just like mean mugged me, was just dogging me. He's like, that dude is terrifying in and outside the octagon. I just feel like I have to trust. I can trust Kopylov more. I can't trust the Punahele at this point. And I love my Hawaiians, bro. If you guys have been watching this channel for a long time, I absolutely love there is hardly anyone tougher in the world than Hawaiian. So I don't know if Kopylov's going to finish Soriano, but I just can't trust Soriano, man. I just cannot trust Soriano up to this point. I think he's going to lose a kickboxing match. I got to go with Kopylov here, and I think it's pretty good value as the underdog. I think he's the better striker in a mostly striking match.
Couple of hints for the OGs there. I mean, if you think he's going to win, then yeah, that's solid money, right? If you're like, yeah, it's a 50-50 fight, then no, don't. Leave it alone. But if you genuinely think he's going to win, then you get some solid money there. You're going to play him in DraftKings at $7,700?
I worry a little bit because of Soriano's toughness, right? And Kopylov, as you mentioned, can be low volume. Once he gets in the flow and really starts blasting kicks, that's when he's at his best. But sometimes it really does keep him, it takes him a little bit to get going. And maybe he's shy a little bit because of Punahele's power. So I want to play it, but something's telling me not to. You know what I mean? So.
Sure. No, I hear you. Yeah, I think Kopylov's definitely better value at $7,700 than I think Punahele is at $8,500. I'll probably fade Punahele this week and just leave him off. And he's a very talented guy. If he comes out there and takes Kopylov's head off, takes him down, beats him up, none of those things would be surprising. I just don't necessarily trust him to get that done.
Do you think he looks like Chase Hooper? He had he had his hair like it was like super curly and all grown out in his last fight. He really did look like Chase Hooper. What the hell was that?
A little bit. I've had the wrong template going this entire time from our call-in live stream, so I just flipped it to what it should have been this whole time.
Embarrassing. Sorry, guys. I try my best to keep this professional, but
I think we got to run this back.
There's two of us, so
I think we got to run the whole thing back.
Let's start over. Let's get it going.
First up, so yeah, Monkey Knife Fight Strike Line 64-53. I think it's a more and more. I think this fight goes a little bit. We mentioned they're both really tough. Roman's a low volume guy, but 53 strikes is not that many. Again, these are total strikes, not just significant strikes. So I think it's a more and more situation. These are pretty low numbers for two guys that are just going to stand there and swing at each other the whole time because I don't see them doing much grappling. Do you agree with that Monkey Knife Fight line?
What'd you say? More?
More, yeah.
Oh, I worry.
Okay. Well, I like that. And if you like it as well, go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF and they will instantly match your deposit. You give them 20, they'll give you 20. Give them 100, they'll give you 100. Take that very free money. Play some of these lines. WeWantPicks.com/MKF.